Welcome back to the Journey of Stars. I'm your tour guide, Luna. In the last episode, we talked about the HR diagram, which graphs the relationship between a star's temperature with its luminosity. However, what it tells us goes far beyond that. In the graph, we can see that most stars locate at the center region, which is the cross-diagonal line, and some locate at the lower left side and some at the upper right side. In fact, this most populated region is called main sequence. A main sequence star is a star that is going through a stage of hydrogen fusion. 90% of the stars in our universe today are experiencing this process, and that's where we know they will spend most of their lifetime. The process of burning hydrogen to helium in its core is experienced by stars of a tenth of the mass of the Sun to up to 200 times as massive. As we recall from the episode 2, stars all come from clouds of coal dust and gas. The hydrogen atoms experience quite a tug of war, as pressure wants to blow away, while gravity wants to pull together. Gravity wins the battle, and at a magical 15 million degrees, nuclear fusion begins, where 4 hydrogen atoms collide at a very high speed and finally join to form a new helium atom. Powered by hydrogen fusion, the star begins to shine. Fusion produces an outward pressure that balances with the inward pressure caused by gravity, stabilizing the star. How long a main sequence star lives depends on how massive it is. A higher mass star may have more materials, but it burns out faster due to the higher core temperature, which is caused by greater gravitational force. You see, the closer the particles get in the core, the more likely they will collide, which creates more energy, thus faster burning process. While the Sun will spend about 10 billion years on the main sequence, a star 10 times as massive will stick around for only 20 million years. A red dwarf, which is half as massive as the Sun, can last 80 to 100 billion years, which is far longer than the universe age of 13.8 billion years. From the HR diagram, we can see that the main sequence is really a sequence of mass. The lowest mass stars are the coolest, least luminous, while the highest mass stars are the hottest, most luminous. And it turns out that mass is by far the single most dominant parameter that determines all properties of stars. Essentially, we can say, as Professor George Gofsky from Caltech puts in Italy, stars are a one-dimensional family of objects. I give you 10 to the 34 grams of hydrogen and helium, you go to get a star. And you can predict in great and glory detail exactly what is going to happen to it. Now, let's locate our Sun, right here. Our Sun is now a main sequence star. After it uses up all the hydrogen in its core, it will leave the main sequence and move towards a red giant branch, which is the upper right corner. In approximately 5 billion years, the Sun will use up its hydrogen fuel and become a red giant star. When it expands, the outer layer will eat up the whole inner planet system. If we human race still exist at that time, we must have already immigrated to another habitable planet elsewhere, because Mercury, Venus, and eventually Earth will all perish under the scorch of our own Sun. On a lighter note, for stars that are lesser than 1/10 of solar mass, because they don't have enough mass or in turn energy to do hydrogen fusion, they will stay as brown dwarf at the lower left-hand area. In contrast, for stars that are more massive than 8 times solar mass, they will have very different courses of evolution. Some will become blue giant stars, which are much brighter, hotter than red giants. Some will continue nuclear fusion and form elements all the way up to iron, which leads to a supernova explosion, neutron star, and maybe, eventually, black hole. Those my stellar adventures, we're going to explore each specific process in the coming episodes. Thank you for watching episode 4 of my series of astronomy, The Journey of Stars. Today we learned that main sequence stars are the stars that burn hydrogen to helium in its core, The hotter the star is, the shorter it lives, and that mass is the determining factor of a star's evolution. This episode is produced by me along with my project instructor, Mr. Decorado. Starting next episode, we'll explore stellar evolution by its different stellar mass. If you want to learn more about each specific process, please subscribe to my channel and follow the coming episode on brown dwarf. Enjoy your day and don't forget to keep looking up to the stars.